Nyanje chembur sultan hingmi jang zoner monum chembur ngam kyapta pakirtar ngam santo shirmal dor tomba tije chanla kisham sar nichan ruwa tsiringi shinkansa jakur tiki shanla yillar man jingmen panzo jala soran
Profound and subtle Dharma is rarely encountered in eons. Now we hear and follow it. May we realize the Tathagata's meaning. To liberate all sentient beings, please generate bodhicitta before teaching. Today I'll give you a brief introduction to the 7-line prayer of Guru Padmasambhava. Starting tomorrow, we will study the Udna Sutra. Last year we covered chapters 1 through 12. Starting tomorrow, we'll pick up from chapter 13. The way we study will be mostly the same as last year. First, we'll all study together, followed by oral examinations. There will also be written exams later on, just as last year. So throughout the course of our studies, I hope everyone will approach this with real dedication. Don't give up on hearing, contemplating, and practicing the Dharma. This is something I consider truly important. The monastics here at our academy are truly very fortunate. Right now you have this wonderful chance to study and practice together, to hear and contemplate side by side. And this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So everyone should truly come to appreciate how precious and rare this opportunity is. So today, together with all of you, we'll take a brief look at the 7-line prayer of Guru Padmasambhava. Now, this 7-line prayer is something very familiar to everyone here. In fact, the prayers of Guru Padmasambhava are truly vast in number, immeasurable, boundless. There are countless of them. But among all these prayers, the most supreme and most auspicious, the most excellent of all, is the 7-line prayer. This has been unanimously affirmed by many accomplished masters of the past, those with genuine realization and awakening. So we must never dismiss it by thinking, the 7-line prayer, isn't it just 7 lines? What's so special about that? It seems pretty simple. Those of us who lack the pith instructions might indeed fall into this kind of thinking. What's so great about these 7 lines? If I were to write something like this, I could probably dash it off in an instant. One might very well think that. But while these may look like ordinary words, their true significance, whether in terms of history or blessings, is truly beyond imagination. This is something everyone should understand. Sometimes I think about how we use all kinds of electronic devices these days, whether it's a computer, a phone, or an iPad, we all use them. But whenever we use them, we often need either identity verification or a password to authenticate. And the password might look simple, something like 123456 or 888. It seems so easy, yet in truth, if you don't have that password, you can't operate it, can't restore it, and can't access anything inside the system. It's simply impossible. I think the same principle applies here. If we truly wish to receive the blessings of Guru Padmasambhava's body, speech, and mind, or to awaken the true nature of Padmasambhava within our own mind, to genuinely stir it, to awaken it, the 7-line prayer is like a profound password that unlocks everything. Without it, it is very hard to grasp the most sublime instructions. The 7-line prayer may seem like there's nothing difficult to understand, yet it is truly profoundly extraordinary. On this point, dear friends here today, it's not something we just talk about in theory and say, oh, it's probably special. It's not like that. Please take this to heart and reflect on it carefully. This 7-line prayer, how is it actually used in our everyday lives? In our daily lives across lineages such as the Nyingma and Kagyu, many masters of the transmission lineages, before reciting any liturgy or practice text, will first recite the 7-line prayer. But why is that? The reason is that in any practice we do, in order to receive its blessings and accomplishments, we need to connect with all the 100,000 dakinis and protectors and align with the secret of Padmasambhava's body, speech and mind, to merge with it, to resonate with it, to be in harmony with it. And for that purpose, the 7-line prayer is the finest and most supreme method of all. So that is why the great masters of the past held the 7-line prayer in such profound reverence. That is the main reason. Now, does the 7-line prayer have an author? Who actually composed it? In truth, it is like the Ekajata Tantra. It is a Vajra utterance that arose naturally, self-formed. Some historical accounts say that the Dakinis of the celestial realm prayed to Amitabha Buddha, and his emanation of body, speech and mind would come to Jambudvipa to guide beings. At that moment, from the heart of Amitabha, a red syllable, Achurai, emerged, and this syllable descended into a lake in the land of Odiyana, and upon the heart of a lotus blossom, Guru Padmasambhava was born and manifested, taking on the form of Padmasambhava. Yet in truth, even before Padmasambhava took birth, the seven-line prayer already existed. In certain treasure texts, this is also described in Mipim Rinpoche's White Lotus, a commentary on the seven-line prayer. As I recall, it says that the seven-line prayer arose when Nalanda monastery was facing attacks from non-Buddhist forces, and the Dharma was on the verge of destruction at this moment of grave crisis. The great Panditas of Nalanda engaged in debate, but could not prevail. Then they competed through miraculous powers and still could not overcome their opponents. At this most critical moment, one night, 500 Panditas all had the same dream. At the same time, a Dakini appeared, Shantirshita, or some Dakini, and every one of them had the exact same dream. The message was, if you Panditas truly cannot win this debate against the non-Buddhists, then you should invite my elder brother, the skull-garlanded guru, Pemata Tringtsal, if he comes here. He will be able to defeat them. The Panditas then asked, where is this guru? He is in the dark and wrathful charnel ground, came the answer. They then asked, but how can we invite him here? The answer was, tomorrow morning go up to the rooftop with all kinds of musical instruments, and through the seven-line prayer, invite him with melodious voices and he will descend. Afterward, they followed these instructions, and the next morning, everyone felt something wonderful was happening because 500 people, just like our Manju Shri prays, 500 people had shared the exact same dream. And following the Dakini's prophecy, they went to the rooftop and recited the seven-line prayer to invite him. And Guru Padmasambhava truly descended after his arrival. Through the Guru's vast wisdom and eloquence, he first prevailed in debate and then triumphed in the display of miraculous powers. From that time onward, the seven-line prayer spread and flourished throughout the human world. So the story goes, there is also an account from a certain master's teachings that when Guru Padmasambhava arrived at the great hall of Nalanda monastery, he first engaged the non-Buddhists in debate and won. Then the non-Buddhists began displaying all manner of miraculous powers, and so they competed in miracles, displaying all kinds of supernatural feats in the sky. At this point, Simhamukha, the lion-faced Dakini, appeared and offered Guru Padmasambhava a small treasure casket inside, which was a mantra, Agasamara Zashada Rasamara Ya Pade, the mantra of the lion-faced Dakini, and from this mantra sparks and flames began to shoot forth, subduing the followers of the non-Buddhist forces. Such here are the different accounts we have. But whatever the case may be, what truly matters for us now is that through the seven-line prayer, we practice the yoga of Guru Padmasambhava, and I feel that for every one of us, this is truly important. So today, following the seven-line prayer to Guru Padmasambhava in the Larung Liturgy collection, let us first look at the literal meaning together. If we truly wish to understand both the literal meaning and the deeper significance, we can turn to Mipim Rinpoche's White Lotus, a commentary on the seven-line prayer, which we covered a little in the past. In that treatise, Mipam Rinpoche explains it first through the outer level of literal meaning, then through the inner level of the generation stage, then through the secret level of the path of liberation, then through the path of skillful means, and finally through the ultimate path of Dzogchen as the framework for the explanation. We covered with you at that time the outer level of practice, which is simply the literal explanation, the literal reading of the seven-line prayer, but the inner, secret, and most secret levels, along with the ultimate path of practice, those 4 layers of meaning were not covered. I had originally intended to teach them last year or at another time, but it never came to be. If the right conditions arise in the future, we can study them together. Indeed, His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche also taught the seven-line prayer at Nandrol Buddhist Institute in India. I'm not sure whether recordings exist. It seems part of it was not obtained. Some portion apparently couldn't be obtained last year either. His Holiness taught it once at the Academy and once in India as well. For our purposes this time, we will simply look at the literal meaning of the seven-line prayer together. It should be in the Larung Liturgy collection. For this liturgy, I based it at the time on Gelek Chokwang's treasure text version of the seven-line prayer and have prepared here a simple translation for everyone. The seven-line prayer, the Guru practice as taught in the Lama Sangdu. The Lama Sangdu is a treasure of Gelek Chokwangchuk. Gelek Chokwang is one of the most important treasure revealers among all the great Tertons among the Tertons of Padmasambhava's lineage. There are three who are like kings among Tertons, and there are slightly different accounts in historical sources as to the emanations of Padmasambhava's body, speech and mind. The body emanation is Nyang Nima Uzur, the revealer of the wishful prayers of Guru Rinpoche. He is known as the Terton like the sun, and Gelek Chokwang is the Terton like the moon, the speech emanation of Padmasambhava. And the Terton like a wish-fulfilling jewel is Rigzing Godem, who is the Terton like a wish-fulfilling jewel, the mind emanation of Padmasambhava. So the accounts tell us among these, Gelek Chokwang was the primary revealer of these treasure teachings. He lived approximately from 1212 to 1270 CE, roughly in the 13th century. He wrote a work dedicated entirely to the teachings on Terton. I translated half of it last year, but have not yet finished the translation. Truly, if one wishes to understand Terton, Gelek Chokwang's work is essential. Within Tibetan Buddhism, there are many different explanations of Tertma teachings from various sources, but Gelek Chokwang's is the finest, although many great masters later also wrote extensively on Tertma, including Ratna Lingpa and Jigchen, Tempe Nima, and many other great masters. Their writings on Tertma are quite extensive in some cases, but when traced to their source, all flow from the Tertma lineage of Gelek Chokwang. His is the most profound and authoritative. So the seven-line prayer of Padmasambhava was also part of the treasures he revealed. His Dakini consort was called Ani Monmo, and according to a history of Tibetan Buddhism, when her time came, she ascended directly into the sky without leaving her physical body behind, performed a Gana Chakra offering, left her robes hanging on a tree, and flew directly to the Pure Land. His Dakini consort was apparently 36 years younger than him, or something to that effect. Gelek Chokwang made an immense contribution to the entire tradition of Terma in Tibetan Buddhism, and so some of his Terma teachings are very much worth studying in the future. And so today, let's take a brief look at what it means. Homage to the Yidam deity, those with good fortune in future generations, who take refuge in me, Padmasambhava, dwell in a place of solitude, give rise to the mind of impermanence and renunciation. Turning away from samsara is of the utmost importance. Here in this text, on the seven-line prayer for those who wish to practice it, how should one go about it? There are certain preliminary requirements laid out here, as well as guidance on how to meditate truly when it comes to the seven-line prayer. We really should practice it ourselves. This is very much worthwhile. If this practice is cultivated well, whatever Yidam deity we practice later should come more easily. Many people love to practice Yidam deities, don't they? So the meaning here is for people of later times, Padmasambhava did not say the present generation. This includes us as well, those in future generations with the good fortune who wish to take refuge in Padmasambhava must do so through the practice of the seven-line prayer. And how should one prepare before practicing? One should place the body in a quiet and secluded place, of course. For those living in cities today, finding a truly quiet and secluded place is generally quite difficult, but we can also create a quiet space for ourselves. If conditions allow, in one's own bedroom or room, closing the door can serve as a small retreat space, and turning off your phone, that too can become a place of genuine quiet these days. Perhaps the greatest distractions for people are external ones, phones, computers, these kinds of distractions, and then the inner distraction of discursive thoughts. If these can be cut through, that can be called a place of solitude. Then one gives rise to a sense of impermanence and renunciation, especially when practicing the seven-line prayer, as some other great masters have also said. Contemplating impermanence is very important. It's not like jumping straight in, as some people in the West do, saying, I'll go straight to Dzogchen or I'll go straight to Mahamudra. If you practice that way, perhaps after some time the foundation may not be all that stable. So it's better to first reflect on the preciousness of human life and the impermanence of death, especially the faults of samsara, and generate a genuine feeling of renunciation. Truly, Remaining in samsara has no real meaning. The sooner I am free from it, the better. Many young people may not think this way at first. But as people reach a certain age and witness in samsara so much conflict and complication, they eventually come to see that samsara holds nothing truly worth clinging to. And a deep sense of impermanence and renunciation arises along with the wish to be free from samsara, the mind of genuine renunciation. This is extremely important. It is the very first step when we begin to practice. We need a place of quietude. We should contemplate impermanence and the preliminary practices. Keeping these recollections is very important. Then how should we visualize? With wholehearted sincerity. Rely upon me and know that all sources of refuge are complete and perfect within me. Padmasambhava, all your joys and sorrows, hopes and fears, I know them all when we pray. How should we visualize? With genuine sincerity and wholehearted devotion, not superficially. Some of our practices these days are entirely surface level, treating Padmasambhava as nothing more than a figure from mythology, or viewing Padmasambhava as some kind of cultural folk figure and relating to him that way. This is not the right approach. First of all, we should understand that Padmasambhava's contribution to all of Tibetan Buddhism, on this certain schools may never speak of it, never mention it at all, and even in different historical accounts, these truths are not particularly clearly stated when speaking of history. Even now, within Tibetan Buddhism practitioners of certain individual schools, when they come to speak of the true historical origins of Tibetan Buddhism, do not say a single word about this. This is really nothing more than being overcome by all kinds of sectarian attachment and bias for anyone with genuine wisdom. Padmasambhava is by no means a mythological figure in the 8th century when King Trisong Detsen was in the process of building Samye Monastery. He encountered obstacles from non-human forces, and through the prophecies of Nyang Tingzin Zangpo and many great masters, they invited Padmasambhava, and he came from Nepal. We'll be studying this in more detail. Before long, tomorrow, we'll also be covering the brief life of Guru Padmasambhava. You may have forgotten to bring your copy of the Guru's biography. I've forgotten mine too. Each day we'll cover a little of the brief life of Guru Padmasambhava. Padmasambhava, according to Taranatha's account, came by way of the area near Mount Kailash, and the entire journey is that of a truly real living historical figure who came to Tibet and oversaw the building of Samye Monastery, nurtured a monastic community. These are facts that no one can erase. This is something we should all understand clearly. Otherwise, whether in the West or among people of different schools, the moment Padmasambhava is mentioned, it's treated as something mysterious and otherworldly, and people want to place him in the realm of myth or folklore and understand him through that lens. This is very much mistaken. Padmasambhava, like any historical figure in this world, we can look at who he was and what he actually did. The teachings and texts of Padmasambhava that have been translated, the Dharma teachings, are there for everyone to see. So if one truly wishes to develop genuine faith in Guru Padmasambhava, I often say to people I know, those I'm acquainted with, if you truly want to be a sincere practitioner, pray wholeheartedly to Padmasambhava. If you have any doubts about Guru Padmasambhava's life, best thing to do is visit Nepal and Bhutan. Once you are there, you will see with your own eyes what Padmasambhava accomplished. The temples and monasteries he built, all of them are still living, breathing, vividly present, and still standing to this day. And for those of you here today, if you have the means, someday, the freedom and the right conditions, you should really go and see Bhutan. Bhutan is truly a remarkable place. Nepal as well is full of meaning. The purpose is not to take photos or post videos, not that truly going there and experiencing the places blessed by Padmasambhava carries a very special and profound significance. So here it is saying, with wholehearted sincerity, regard Guru Padmasambhava as the embodiment of all refuges, perfectly complete within Padmasambhava, and hold in your heart the thought from this moment, I take refuge in you. I rely upon you until the moment of liberation. I turn to you for everything, whether I am in suffering or in joy, whatever wishes or hopes I carry. May you be the one to guide me to arrange and to decide truly to have this kind of faith in a teacher or in a Yidam deity. This kind of complete trust and devotion is very important. We should all check in on our own faith from time to time. I often reflect on my own as well, and since childhood I have had at least some degree of faith in Padmasambhava. I wouldn't dare claim it's anything exceptional, but what I have noticed with Western practitioners is that for some reason I can't quite explain their faith in Padmasambhava is remarkably strong, whether in all kinds of artwork, illustrations, oil paintings, all manner of visual art, or in statues and sculptures depicting Padmasambhava in his many forms. They are deeply moved. Some of them see him as a figure of romantic and heroic spirit. Others feel he is someone with a special mission, with extraordinary blessing and power. In many cases, Westerners actually have even greater faith than many Asian practitioners. There was once a person from Pakistan who very much wanted to interview me, and a few years ago, along with Tenzin Rinpoche, he went in search of the traces of Padmasambhava, traveling to that side of Pakistan. He regarded Padmasambhava as the person he cherished most, holding him in extraordinarily high regard, like what people today call an idol in his heart. Padmasambhava was the one he aspired to most deeply and had the greatest faith in, actually within our tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. I'm not sure we always see this in a moment. We'll take a look together. Westerners express their devotion to Padmasambhava in all kinds of creative and heartfelt ways within Tibetan Buddhism. The Nyingma and Kagyu schools do quite well in this regard. Some other schools, however, are honestly not always so impressive. There are all kinds of situations, properly speaking. Padmasambhava is the protector of all beings throughout the entire world. In this age of decline, relying on him and praying to him can truly dispel all obstacles and demonic forces, especially now, whether it's natural disasters or human-caused calamities, catastrophes of earth, water, fire, and wind, including wars and famines, all manner of conflict and turmoil through Padmasambhava. These can surely be cleared away. So this is tremendously important. And so from the very depths of our heart, everything is offered to you. Everything is known by you and watched over by you. With this state of mind, seeking neither fame nor wealth, with body, speech, and mind in reverence, recite this 7-line prayer. We do not seek gain, fame, or riches. To practice this teaching is not, for instance, as a teacher, thinking if I transmit the 7-line prayer today, will I receive offerings for it? Or as a student thinking, if I receive the 7-line prayer today and rely on it going forward, will I gain offerings and benefits? That is not the purpose. Rather, it is this, with one's body, speech, and mind, in deep reverence and with heartfelt veneration, to offer one's prayers. Reverence truly is so important. I have seen in Jigme Lingpa's self-commentary on the Treasury of Qualities 2 teachings worth sharing. One is about Kamalashila. There was once a student who came before Kamalashila and said, "Can you give me a blessing?" His manner, it seems, was not particularly respectful. And so the master replied, "Poor student, be more respectful." The blessing he gave was simply, "Be reverent." Perhaps the student lacked sufficient reverence. And then there is a story about Atisha, which seems to differ slightly from other versions I've heard. Atisha had a student who came before him and called out loudly, addressing him as Atisha, apparently calling him directly by name, and then said, "Give me some pith instructions." And Atisha replied, "My ears are just fine." The student had probably spoken too loudly, and then Atisha said, "The pith instruction is faith. The pith instruction is faith. The pith instruction is faith." He said it 3 times. This student had come before Atisha, hoping to receive some special instruction, yet the instruction was faith. The instruction is faith. The instruction is faith, said 3 times. On the surface, it may seem like just a charming exchange between a student and a teacher, quite delightful. But if we really sit with it, many of us are just like this, no matter who it is. When someone goes to a teacher seeking teachings, that teacher may be truly remarkable. Yet if the student has no faith at all, it may be that nothing takes root in their mind at all. But if the teacher is perhaps quite ordinary, yet the student has tremendous faith, the benefit they receive is immense. By the same token, when we all come together now to pray to Padmasambhava, if some among us have genuine and deeply stirring faith with goosebumps rising and tears streaming down, a truly heartfelt and sincere devotion, then the blessings of Padmasambhava, the blessings of his body, speech, and mind will naturally be received. But if there is little faith, no matter how beautiful the voice, Hum Orkyan Yul Kainup Jangtsam, blessings may not come. So it is said here as well to pray with the 3 doors held in reverence. I won't go into extensive detail about the prayer itself, as most of you know it very well already. Hum, in the northwest of the land of Odhyana, upon the heart of a lotus flower, you attained the supreme wondrous city, renowned as the lotus-born, surrounded by a retinue of many dakinis following in your footsteps. I practice, please come and grant your blessings. Guru Pima Siddhi Hum is for the meaning the first line. Hum, in the northwest of Odhyana, primarily describes the birthplace of Padmasambhava. He was a miraculous birth appearing in the prayer what involves. Milk Lake in the northwest of Odhyana, or at a deeper level of meaning, it refers to the pure land of primordial awareness, understood from that perspective. The second line, upon the heart of a lotus flower, this primarily describes how Padmasambhava came into this world at that time. King Indrabhuti looked upon a lotus lake and beheld upon the lotus a child of 8 years in radiant form, and raised the child as his own crown prince. So this line speaks primarily of the circumstances of Padmasambhava's birth, which is the pure and unstained nature of Padmasambhava, a form beyond birth and beyond death. We can say this line speaks to the Guru's manner of appearance within the second line. The third line, you attained the supreme wondrous siddhi. Padmasambhava possessed unique and extraordinary quality, meaning that he attained the supreme siddhi and the 8 common siddhis. All of these accomplishments were fully realized. This line speaks primarily to his extraordinary qualities within the third line. The fourth line, renowned as the lotus-born. This is his true and most widely known name, because Padmasambhava actually has the 8 emanation names of the Guru and 12 names altogether. And throughout Padmasambhava's biography, there are many different names used. So above all, the principal name of Padmasambhava is commonly known as lotus-born. As it remains today, he originally has names such as Padmasambhava, Pimathutrengtsal, and many others, yet here he is commonly known as Padmasambhava. So this line speaks mainly to his name. That is the fourth line. The fifth line, surrounded by a retinue of dakinis, this mainly concerns the object of our prayer. Padmasambhava is the lord of the 100,000 dakinis. Dakinis, Dharma protectors, non-human beings. Especially during his time at the 8 charnel grounds, vast assemblies of dakinis surrounded him when he was practicing in the 8 great charnel grounds. This is the object to whom we direct our prayers. The 6th line, following in your footsteps, I practice. This is how we pray before Padmasambhava, as we mentioned before. I follow you, I do not seek other paths or turn elsewhere. I practice the path of Padmasambhava with single-pointed devotion. I truly hope that many of us will sincerely pray to Padmasambhava. This is so very important. And finally, the 7th line and the mantra, please come and grant your blessings. We pray for Padmasambhava to descend and bestow upon us his blessings and the siddhis we seek. Guru Pema Siddhi Hum, in this mantra of Padmasambhava. Guru means teacher, Pema means lotus, and Siddhi Hum means grant accomplishment. So with that, the meaning is looking at it on the surface. These 7 lines do seem quite simple, followed by a short mantra, which also appears simple, yet when the meaning is unpacked, it is far from simple when Mipa Rinpoche explains it through the outer, inner, secret and most secret levels and the way of the ultimate path. There is truly a great wealth of profound meaning within it. So if we truly wish to understand the meaning, approaching it from many different angles is really the best way in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. The extensive biography of Padmasambhava was in many places recited regularly in nearly every household. The great Pima Kathang, the Lotus-born Testament, that great biographical text, has been continuously recited throughout the ages, and that continues today, including in recent years in various places, including Dharma centers. Groups of young lay people organized by communities have also been reciting it together. This too is very meaningful. I have also received this transmission in the past. In early 1987, His Holiness invited Teacher Rinpoche to come and transmit the entire Kangyo to the community, while His Holiness himself went to the Kham region to teach the Dharma. But before His Holiness set off, Teacher Rinpoche first gave the entire monastic community a reading of the extensive biography of Padmasambhava in order to remove all obstacles that might arise during the Kangyo transmission. And he had a rather unique approach. At the end of each chapter, he would recite a prayer for the long life of His Holiness Jigme Phuntsokrin, the Bama Tedak Docha Thandruk prayer. Reciting it once at the time, we all felt something we couldn't quite explain, but perhaps it was the special blessing of Padmasambhava and the special blessing of His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok, and perhaps Teacher Rinpoche himself also had a unique karmic connection. I remember that after completing each chapter's transmission, he would recite the long life prayer for His Holiness. After each chapter was finished, it would close in this way. And afterward, His Holiness gave everyone an empowerment of the Kangyur volumes, and then for the journey to the calm region, roughly 30 or 40 monasteries. Rinpoche here at Larung Buddhist Institute transmitted the Kangyur to them as well. So in the Tibetan tradition, whether it is the biography of Padmasambhava or prayers to Padmasambhava, they are held in very high regard. So I also hope that each one of us, if possible, upon waking each morning, many people these days have rather poor habits in former times. Many practitioners would wake up in the morning and pray to their guru and yidam, doing various recitations. But nowadays, many people, things are probably a bit better here at the academy because all phones have been handed in, except for those who are particularly disobedient. Generally, there are none around, including today. When gathering everyone for class, there was no other way. All phones had already been handed in, so there was nothing to do but announce it over the loudspeaker. I think the Academy manages this rather well, but for ordinary people in the world, the very first thing in the morning before their eyes are even open, they're reaching for their phone, and the moment their eyes open, they unlock it straight away. I've heard this is how many people are, and at night when going to sleep, the phone goes off and the eyes close at the same moment. Truly, this age we live in is quite sad, but if from now on, when we wake each morning or when we go to sleep at night, could we recite the 7-line prayer 7 times, 21 times, or 108 times? If we do this, it is truly of great merit. Within one's own mind stream, one will surely come into resonance with Padmasambhava, because his qualities, there are a great many prayers to Padmasambhava. Among the Tertons who came after Padmasambhava, the senior Tertons number 108, the junior Tertons number 1000. That is the general historical understanding, yet within virtually every treasure teaching. There is essentially a terma version of the 7-line prayer, but the most important one is this terma of Gelek Chokwang. And regarding prayers to Padmasambhava, many great masters of the past, including His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpat book, Extraordinary, which was translated into Chinese in the past. I recall His Holiness spoke of this as well. For example, he said that for some people to go through each Buddha and Bodhisattva one by one in prayer is not as meritorious as reciting a single recitation of the 7-line prayer to Padmasambhava. His Holiness spoke at length about this. So let us see if we can sincerely take up this prayer according to what these great masters of the past have told us. If one truly relies upon this prayer, the practitioners of the highest capacity will see Padmasambhava directly. Those of middling capacity will see Padmasambhava in visions or in dreams, and behold Padmasambhava, and even those of lesser capacity will give rise to genuine faith. And if faith arises in you, that itself is Padmasambhava. Many realized masters of the past have said, if you have genuine faith in Padmasambhava, that faith is Padmasambhava himself. These days, many people, honestly, I find it a little sad when someone mentions a pop star, a celebrity, an internet sensation in those moments. Everyone is beside themselves with excitement. When I was in school, students would often cut out pictures of their idols back then. It was people like Jet Li, Jiang so-and-so, photos of these people cut out from notebooks and placed beside their beds. That was their idol. Now, as monastics, and especially as practitioners, what if we truly made Padmasambhava our own deepest inspiration, wearing him around our neck, or in many other ways, if we remain inseparable from Padmasambhava's body, speech and mind? I believe our own mind will surely come into harmony with him if we feel indifferent toward Padmasambhava and instead place our attention on all the various troubling figures of this world. There is really nothing there worth praying to. So not long ago, I came across a video showing an event somewhere near here. I thought about showing it to you, but perhaps it's not quite appropriate at the time. Many Tibetan people were dancing in a rock style, imitating the West, but within our own Tibetan Buddhist tradition, things like the 7-line prayer to Padmasambhava, expressed through song, dance, and various art forms in prayer, that, from another perspective, is also honoring one's own culture and indirectly planting seeds of virtue in the mind streams of beings, even in other parts of the world, truly in the West as well. And in many Asian countries. There is deep faith in the 7-line prayer to Padmasambhava. There is one particularly well-known group now singing it in a choral format, with Westerners singing prayers to Padmasambhava. And in Bhutan as well, there are dedicated efforts in various styles by young people. So today, let me first show everyone a short clip and then we'll continue with the rest of the teaching. Let's see how they've done. This is Taksang, the tiger's nest. This is Hu Xue, Batu Taksang. A rock artist. Prayers to Padmasambhava, expressed through many different forms. That is wonderful in the future. When it comes to spreading the Dharma, properly speaking, all kinds of expressions are welcomed in the treasure text. It continues like this, praying again and again in this way, deep emotion arises and tears flow freely. Sincere faith brings genuine response. After praying with fervent intensity, rest openly and remain in clear, natural, undistracted awareness. When we pray, to pray again and again, continuously, time and again. I just looked back and realized here at the Academy, the 7-line prayer has been recited many times. I wonder if you remember, my first memory of it is when I arrived and His Holiness Jigme Phuntsokrin was giving a blessing using the 7-line prayer. I wrote about this on Weibo before. And the second memory, the image isn't entirely clear, but it should have been His Holiness Jigme Phuntsokrin Poche. When I first met him, it was in 1985. At that time, the Master gave a blessing later. His Holiness used the Manjushri mantra for blessings, but at that time it was the 7-line prayer. That's how it was. Then the second record is from around 2014, in order to reduce calamities throughout the world. And for the people, I can't read this part too clearly, but the meaning is that over the course of 2 days here at the Academy, from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening, each person reciting the 7-line prayer 20,000 times. It was January 26, 2014. Does anyone remember this? Having records, a Weibo post or a diary really does come in handy. I wonder how everyone's diaries are going at some point. We should have a little competition. Everyone pick a month, any month, myself included, and we'll look at what was written in our diaries. You share yours. I'll share mine. My Weibo post from 2014 recorded that over 2 days at the Academy, each person recited the 7-line prayer 20,000 times, and the number of followers on Weibo at that time was 1.08 million. That's the second record. The third record on September 2nd, 2022, the Academy again recited the 7-line prayer, each person reciting 10,000 times, and also Vajra Arma 100,000 times. That happened too. The view count was 100 million, it seems. I can't make it out too clearly. So here at the Academy we have recited 20,000 times before, and 10,000 times every person here has done this. When it comes to this 7-line prayer, praying again and again, you should all know this already. Mipam Rinpoche, during one visionary experience, received the 7-line prayer transmitted to him by a Dakini. At that time Mipam Rinpoche asked his attendant, "Ovza, did you hear the voice of the Dakini?" The attendant said he had not. Mipam Rinpoche said, "This time I heard it." The transmission of the 7-line prayer from the Dakini attendant Oza then made a request to Mipam Rinpoche, saying he vowed to recite the 7-line prayer 1.3 million times. And it seems in the small print at the back of the White Lotus there is a note about this as well. And Oza did indeed complete 1.3 million recitations of the 7-line prayer. Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche has mentioned this in the past, and so has His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok, that if one practices the 7-line prayer exclusively for 7 days or 21 days, whatever practice you take up afterward will come easily. So I have always thought about doing this myself, dedicating 7 full days doing nothing else but simply reciting the 7-line prayer for 7 days with full devotion, yet it has never quite happened. Perhaps it won't even happen before I die, but truly, if an opportunity arises, I encourage each of you to sincerely recite the 7-line prayer, or the heart mantra of Padmasambhava. It is the master password of all practice. That's how I see it. The 7-line prayer, just 7 lines like the numerals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yet in whose hands it rests and how sincerely one prays, opens up many realizations, including recognizing the Guru Buddha as one's own nature, restoring and unlocking the Buddha nature. That is our true self. This is genuinely possible, and when reciting with deep feeling, tears arise naturally. As one great master said, when the tears come, they can be as large as peas. Never mind tears as large as peas. Many of us can't even shed a single small tear. With sincere faith arising from the heart, pray with fervent intensity and rest in the natural clarity of Dzogchen. If you pray like this, noble son, need I even say that I will protect you? You will become a child of all the Buddhas of the 3 times and receive the great empowerment of self-realization within your own mind. If you pray in this way, many great masters, including Dzogchen Tenpai Nyima, and there are many others, have written brief commentaries on the 7-line prayer, and they frequently cite these words in their commentaries. Guru Rinpoche said, if someone prays sincerely like this, it goes without saying that I will protect them. Not only will I protect you, but all the Buddhas of the 3 times past, present, and future will all bestow their blessings upon you. You will become their Dharma heir and receive the great empowerment of self-realization, the great liberation. Meditation deepens. Wisdom grows through the blessings of this vast natural wisdom. Your own stream of being ripens, and the suffering of others is relieved while receiving these blessings for yourself. You simultaneously benefit all beings and accomplish the enlightened activity. If we pray to Guru Rinpoche regularly, our meditative stability will become firm and grounded. Entering meditation won't be a struggle anymore. Some people say they just can't settle into meditation. I can debate just fine, but I can't sustain meditation even for half an hour. Just yesterday someone told me that their practice was going well and their meditation was quite good. So I asked, how long can you stay in meditation? About 2 or 3 minutes. That doesn't really count as meditation at all. Stable meditation, growing wisdom. Wisdom opens up. It won't be like how people get more and more confused as they age. It won't be that way. You receive the great natural blessings, the vast natural blessings of Guru Rinpoche. Your own stream of being ripens and matures, and the suffering of other beings is relieved at the very moment you yourself receive the blessings and response of Guru Rinpoche. You simultaneously bring benefit to all sentient beings, and enlightened activity is accomplished. This experience is truly important. Some people might wonder, since Guru Rinpoche is now in the land of the Rakshasas, if we pray now, will he actually appear before each of us? Actually, if we have understood the principle of dependent origination and emptiness through the inconceivable power of interdependence, wherever there is faith, Guru Rinpoche is right there. There can be no separation. In the biographies of some Tibetan masters, it is said that Dorje Drolod and Yeshe Tsogyal were once in Bhutan at Mokone Dzong while they were there. Dorje Drolod was preparing to request the empowerment of Vajrakilaya, and Yeshe Tsogyal said, "If we pray to Guru Rinpoche, he will surely come." At that time, Guru Rinpoche was residing at Samye Monastery. The next day, during the Ganachakra offering, when they prayed with the 7-line prayer, Guru Rinpoche personally came to Bhutan and bestowed the Vajrakilaya empowerment upon Dorje Drolod. So I believe that whoever prays now Guru Rinpoche has never been apart from us. If the vessel is ready, the reflection of the moon in the sky will naturally and spontaneously appear. So what matters most, and I truly believe this, is whether our practice succeeds or not. It comes down to the strength of our own faith. As Atisha said just a moment ago, the key instruction is faith. A person with faith, whatever practice they take up, whichever teacher they rely upon, it will work. But a person without faith, no matter how skilled at debate, how accomplished at writing treatises, no matter how fluent with computers, no matter how brilliantly they can talk about everything, their inner stream of being remains utterly parched. Nothing is truly received. So my sincere hope is that each and every one of us may receive from Guru Rinpoche the true blessing of body, speech and mind in alignment. When that happens, whatever practice you do, whatever you engage in, even benefiting beings, will come naturally and effortlessly. It won't be a struggle, so everyone should get hold of this key. If we truly want to benefit sentient beings, we must genuinely receive the blessings of Guru Rinpoche's body, speech and mind. If you wish to receive especially profound blessings, you must receive the mind-to-mind transmission blessings of Guru Rinpoche and the lineage masters. This is something that depends on yourself. If you rely entirely on others, whether on a kinpo or on external discipline, to keep you in line, there will certainly be difficulties. Perfecting all qualities within oneself, within the great Dharmakaya of natural being, ripening and liberating through this great skillful means, may all fortunate disciples encounter this. This is saying, to perfect one's own qualities within the Dharmakaya of natural being. What is this great skillful means of ripening and liberation? It is none other than Guru Rinpoche's 7-line prayer. And this teaching is dedicated to those fortunate disciples of the future who will encounter it, primarily the Tertan Gelek Chokwang, who revealed this treasure, and including ourselves, who have encountered this 7-line prayer. This must be due to Guru Rinpoche's compassionate embrace. The exceptionally blessed practice of the 7-line prayer is profoundly deep and is a mind treasure, a secret oral instruction. This 7-line prayer is an extraordinarily profound practice. It is also a mind treasure as well as an earth treasure, and within many of the ritual texts of earth treasures, the 7-line prayer is present. So among all the prayers, as I mentioned earlier, among all the prayers to Guru Rinpoche, this one holds a place of great importance. I recall that in the Memoirs of a Journey to the West, in the third section, where His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok was in New York, there is a brief practice on the 7-line prayer of Guru Rinpoche, along with the Guru Yoga, and how one receives blessings through praying to Guru Rinpoche, how to actually receive his blessings. I won't make this a test today, but tomorrow I do hope you'll take a look at it. It should be in the New York section, the final article. What's in there resonates very closely with what we've discussed today. I don't remember the details clearly right now, but once you read it, you'll understand. We also need to understand how the Dharma King related to the 7-line prayer, and we too should, as disciples of this lineage, truly receive in the deepest sense the genuine blessings of Guru Rinpoche. This is vital. This was revealed by Chokyo Wangchok. And so Guru Rinpoche said at that time, "May the one endowed with wisdom and great compassion, Chokyo Wangchok, encounter this teaching, encounter this Dharma gate of Guru Rinpoche," this 7-line prayer. That concludes today's teaching.
Padmasambhava Bandharangara Padmasambhava Bandharangara Padmasambhava